Oh, that's
Very
worse
creepy.
That's worse than Siri.
Yeah. See, now you have also pop-up.
This meeting is being recorded.
I don't accept.
Well, you got to leave the meeting then.
Oh, I guess host is.
Jeffrey didn't get the pop-up. He's host. He bypasses the pop-up.
The pop-
If he disagrees,
can't
with in the
record,
meeting.
baby.
Like, I disagree.
I say,
Brian Castro requested to join.
need a filter to drink the rest of my coffee.
Ooh, good old in power outlets. You don't come in here.
All right, y'all, we're gonna get started in the next minute or so. One more time, if you haven't gotten a chance to catch that QR code, sign in, please go ahead and do so. If it's important to you, do it. It's important to us. All right, so we're just gonna get rolling in. So today's topics, we got some announcements to go over. Previous week's Cyber Challenge solution. We've got current events with Q. We got the Born Again show with Jeffrey. We're gonna go over the Pico Ctf gym, and we're gonna go through closing. A little bit of a highlight here. We were originally intending to go over and talk in depth about the NCL gym challenges to kind of get everyone like prepared for that and on board for that. Unfortunately, due to the requirements of participating in NCL, we can't publicly disclose, particularly for like recording and publishing any of the challenges, even if they are intended to be training exercises while competition is live. So we will not be going over those today. We will instead be going over something very similar to them and hope that it encourages y'all to do well in NCL. All right, so announcements. We got National Cyber League, NCAE C2 Games, NSA Codebreakers, the results from Hivestorm. We got the USDA Grade A Cybersecurity Expo coming up, and announcement of the T-shirt design contest a little bit later on. One other thing that we do also have that is not listed here is a workshop this weekend on Sunday for NCL. If you want to learn how to use tools, if you want help working through some of the gym challenges, you want to just kind of like shop that together and organize. We will be doing something in the Cyber Lab on Sunday, I believe from 10 a.m.
It's from, I think, noon to like 3.
From noon to 3.
I
Okay,
believe so, yes.
so from noon to 3. All right, so NCL, once again, QR code if you haven't grabbed it already, and down there at the bottom is a link. Now, I know that we have had a little bit of difficulty getting individuals that have signed up from like us talking about it that might want to compete on behalf of UCF. That's what the coach code is there for. What you need to do is you need to hit that QR code while you are signed into NCL. And what it will do is it will redirect you and automatically enroll your coach, which is Dr. Tom Netterost, so that all of our results can be tallied with UCF as a whole. That link is down there at the bottom. And if we could get someone to drop that in the chat, that might be a little helpful. I believe the signups have already ceased. I know that there was a late entry period there for a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that has passed. We've got preseason coming up currently from the 11th through the 18th. So there's still a little bit of time left on the preseason. The gym will remain open all season long. So even if you don't, compete in the individual game or the team game, the gym is there for you to get training and learn all about everything. Individual game coming up here in a little while next weekend actually, and then the team game a little bit further on in the beginning of November. So we want to take the C2 games?
Sure. So the NCAE C2 Games is a new beginner-oriented cybersecurity competition that is focused on learning and for beginners. So all you really need is just a will to learn. It focuses on teamwork, confidence building, and generally just building your skill set. The regional qualifiers are going to be sometime later this month or in November. I still think the exact dates are pending, but you could check for yourselves on c2games.org for more details. Also, it's free.
Jeffrey, they should sign up.
to you right now with it. Sign up individually for that one.
Oh.
NC2 games.
Okay, so yeah, you can sign up individually. So you should do that.
So definitely grab that QR code if you're interested in competing. I'm sure that we will be all competing as a group as soon as we get a little bit more notice on that.
And it's free.
And it's free. Once again, NSA code breakers, I know we've been talking about this quite a bit, but we are trying to remain competitive with other universities that we are currently up against. We slipped out of first for now, but with a little bit of help and a strong push through the rest of the year, all the way up until December 31st, we can put points back on the board and maybe secure top spot, which would be, in my opinion, pretty cool. If you aren't familiar with Code Breakers Challenge, challenges 1 through 6 can be worked on as a collaborative event in our Discord. So if you sign up and you don't know what to do, challenges 1 through 6, you can get help on. Everything after that, you're on your own, but it is a simulation of what you would be doing on your day-to-day if you were to go work for a federal agency, particularly the NSA. So next we got Hive Storm results. This was a lot of fun. I know that I had a lot of fun on the Debian box. We had 5 teams compete on behalf of UCF. Team 12 with 269 points, team 89 with 225 points, team 46, which was us, with 160 points, team 54 with 158 points, and team 241 with 62 points. This was a lot of fun. It always is. And I just can't wait for the write-ups to get released so that I can figure out what it is that I missed on that box. Congratulations to everyone that competed on Hive Storm. Thank you very much for participating. I know I had a lot of fun and I look forward to it again next year. All right, next we got the Grade A USDA Cybersecurity Expo. Now this is a free event. It's free to attend, runs on October 26th and 27th. Subject matter expert briefings from top cybersecurity issues facing the government. I know a little while ago, the USDA actually reached out to us trying to put together a bug bounty program. I think that they are still interested in kind of collaborating with that, but we didn't have a lot of feedback over the summer at the time to kind of like push forward. So that is definitely something that exists. If you are interested in bug bounties and you would like to talk about that, please let me know sometime after the meeting, or you can be up in Discord. They're focusing on hyper automation, zero trust, workforce deployment, insider threat, asset management, cloud security, and so much more. Special event will be Cybersecurity is No Illusion with the mentalist Paul Draper. So that sounds like it might be entertaining. You can win prizes in a cyber escape room. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I like escape rooms. Networking opportunities in an exhibit hall, virtual, I assume. Yeah.
Two quick things on that. On the announcements page, it says you have to be a government employee. Just go past that. If you got an EDU, it's going to work just fine. One of the things is like, who do you work for, USDA or other? If you select other, then a box opens up. Just type University of Central Florida in there at that point, and then use your EDU email address, and you'll be fine. I registered myself.
Okay, awesome. Anyone else have anything to drop on that one?
Not really. I would just speculate what a cyber escape room could be. Maybe it's something like a sort of like a CTF, maybe, because it does sound like it's going to be like a competition.
I know that I have read about some similar things where you kind of like break out from one challenge to the next all the way through until you actually like finish the competition. So
yeah.
All right. So big announcements here. We got the design competition for hoodies, t-shirts, and other apparel. So the competition opens today. Competition will close the 25th of November at midnight. So get your submissions in before then. We will all vote on the final meeting of the semester, December 3rd. You don't need to be in person to vote. We have templates available. Next slide, I think, has more details.
Just examples.
Yeah. And then here's all the details. Okay, so if you are looking for templates and logos for the design, go to hackucf.org/shirts. and you will have all the files available to you. Please submit all elements used in the final design as a zip to shirts@hackucf.org. You are not allowed to use anything under copyright or trademark without written approval. So like memes are great, but if they're like taken directly out of like a movie, TV show, if you're ripping something off, we can't like produce that.
Yeah, to further elaborate, as per US fair use copyright laws, you can parody, but you cannot rip assets directly. Make sure that like what you're doing, if you are going to riff off of something, is clearly like parody, or else we can't accept it. We're selling these, and I don't think Disney will be happy if we started selling t-shirts with Hacker Mickey Mouse.
Although they might, they really love the branding.
Written approval.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
We'll write to the mouse.
yeah, I'll buy a binder.
So we do recommend that when you submit, if you're doing anything rasterized, submit at resolution of 4,500 pixels by 5090 pixels at 300 pixels per inch. Vector graphic formats are preferred, so PDF, SVG, EPS, or whatever you would like. I'm sure we can find a way to translate that file into something else. High resolution PNGs are also acceptable. Please try to stay away from low res stuff, JPEGs and or GIFs. I guess it's supposed to be pronounced GIF, but I will never do that. All designs must include a template file showcasing the design in a PDF format, as well as high resolution versions of every element used in either the PNG or native vector format. This is so we can recreate your image and work with final rendering artists to make sure that whatever it is that you design is like faithful to how it is that you actually put it out there. Sometimes we might get a template image, send it off, and color might be wrong. So they need to do color correction. Sometimes they have to kind of like fits and like fuddle with the images themselves on their end. And if we have those high resolution images, we can help the process along. If you end up getting selected, if your design is the winner, and we end up having to wait 5 or 6 weeks on design changes, and everyone is like waiting until the middle of summer before they get their hoodies, we're going to have some unhappy people. So try to like get everything in all at the same time. If anyone has any questions about this, like hit me up in Discord at variable name, or you can approach and talk afterward. You can also hit us up in chat, but we're going to save those comments till the very end. Couple final notes on the merchandise design competition. We've got 3 categories this year. Typically, we only do 2, right? We've got hoodies, t-shirts, and all other merchandise. So anything that our print on demand service can create, hats, water bottles, stickers, like I think flip-flops, anything. It's wild. All kinds of stuff. If you can design it, you can submit it for the all other category. We have yet to determine prizes. So if you have input on that, something that you want to win, let us know. If it's within budget, we can make it happen. Some examples: last year's t-shirt design prize was a Raspberry Pi. This whole kit that you see here, Pi 4 gig Model B, pretty cool. And the last year's hoodie design prize was a CanaKit Arduino, fully stocked, all kinds of really awesome stuff. So in past years, we've done drones, we've done, I think, gift cards, all kinds of stuff. So we're still open to prizes. If you want to chip in, like, let us know what you want. All right, so Cyber Challenge solution.
So this time, Jeffrey and I collaborated on creating a binary you can do RE on. And the flag that you're supposed to get is the one listed.
Strings are strings is fun with RE. So yeah, so kind of this on screen is just kind of the kind of step-by-step commands you could have run to get to the answer. The first step was to take the file and do a base 64 decode on the string that was on the website. From there, you would use the strings command and try to find what might be a password.
Yep. And so with the strings command I did a head with specifying 30 lines just to get the most important parts. And you're looking, the mouse. You see this, pass, I don't know. So we did that to make it more apparent to see what you're looking for. You can also see some of the strings we also print out later on, like welcome to Hack UCF. So anyways, you basically convert that binary to an executable so you can run it, and then you run it. And you ask for a password. And if you supplied pass in brackets, I don't know, you're almost there. Because what we're looking for is the inside of the brackets where it says I don't know, and then you get the flag. There are also ways you could do. You could use like a decompiler like Ghidra or Binary Ninja, and you can force your way to figure it out through that way. But this is the easiest intended solution to that.
Yeah, if you were trying to solve it using something like Ghidra or GDB, you could note that the string we were comparing to look for was pretty much a few bytes ahead of where the string starts. So you can then assume that, okay, we want to exclude the pass bracket part and then include the rest of the string and then work from there.
Yeah, I made it intentionally hard to, if you did it with RE, I basically did an XOR and that had a hex array that had the flag and a XOR encrypted. And so if you tried doing like that, you would have to manually do it, which is a pain. So this is the obviously easiest way to do about it. So yeah.
Yeah, that is the cyber challenge. Now, we're gonna go to current events.
Yep, we got current events with Kill.
Hey guys, how's it going? I don't really need my laptop for this. So what happened this week, huh? All right, let's see. Okay, so there was a Google Chrome extension that was supposed to be blocking ads, and it was blocking ads, but what it was also doing was it was also injecting every new tab that you opened with JavaScript that would replace all of the URLs with affiliate links. So anything that you Googled, clicked on, and then bought, they would get like some money for. So that was really bad. So that got taken off the Chrome store real quick. Okay, so if you didn't update, if you have an iPhone and you didn't update it this week, I think an update came out on Tuesday. Is that right? It was Tuesday?
16.0.2.
Yeah, so like their new one, they patched in Ode. It exploited the IO mobile frame buffer. We don't know any of the details or how this worked because the person who figured this out submitted it to Apple and they were just like, oh yeah, this is a thing, please update your phone. So they're giving people time to update their phones before everything's kind of like talked about. So like people don't take advantage of this because, you know, people are slow to update their stuff for whatever reason. I don't know. So that was that. Yeah, so Threat Analytics Group from Google said that they kind of just talked about what's been happening in 2021. They've sent over 50,000 warnings to people who are running like misinformation, like campaigns and things like that. You know, countering phishing attacks. So there were like attacker groups that like copied like England's like their like government, I guess it's like their parliament, right, in England. So yeah, so people were like copying like parliaments, like they were just doing a bunch of like weird phishing things. So they kind of came out and said that they're always at any given moment they're tracking more than 270 targeted or government-backed attacker groups from more than 50 countries, like any given moment of the day. So those are big numbers. It's kind of scary actually. And a lot of them are actually from the same people too, right? Like they'll work together. So, oh yeah. And then in other news, something that happened this week is someone tried to phish me. This is like a hilarious phishing attempt, right? So did you look at the slides yet? Yeah. So if you guys don't know, Discord's been getting really, really bad with attackers trying to send you links. And look at this. Kill, what's up? I don't know you, unfortunately, or not, LOL, but this is for you. It's I space, don't need that knife. And then it's a Steam Games offers. Okay, if you guys get links like these, okay, don't do what I did, which is click it. I didn't actually get phished. What I did is I took the link into a safe environment. And then I went to the URL because I wanted to explore because I figured it would be fun to talk about at this week's meeting. So of course I clicked the link. Yeah, yeah. So look at this. So your trade with, Your trade offer with heartbreak cursed. All right, so this gets really funny, right? So my inventory won't load. My items are blank, but they're willing to send me a knife. I don't know the value of that knife because I don't play CSGO. I'm guessing it's a good one. Cool. So for those on Zoom, I guess that knife is worth like $600 or something like that. So that's fun. So yeah, absolutely. I want to trade. So if you click here to trade contents and then click accept trade, this happens, right? So you can very well see that like I'm in like a win. Yeah, this is not a pop-up. This actually loaded up like within that web frame. And I'm on a Mac, right? You can see, yeah. So Windows screen opens up and it asks for my username or password. And for funsies, I copied because it's literally the Steam community URL. I literally copied and pasted it into a new, oh yeah, if you scroll, the page is duplicated. It's not actually, yeah, no, but I copied it into a new tab and I don't think I have this on a slide, but it's legitimately just, maybe I do have a slide on it. No, I don't, okay. So anyway, yeah, you can resize the window and everything, but that is like actually like a Steam community legitimate URL that like you can go to it and if you guys know how like you can sign in through Steam on websites, it literally does the same thing and says it's just not affiliated with the website. But this time on like their web frame that opened up, it doesn't say, like is not affiliated with Steam. So I messaged the guy, right? And I'm like, do people really fall for this? Please tell me how many creds you got. I was genuinely curious just to know. And then he blocked me. So I guess we'll never know. So yeah, fun things happen this week. And now it's time for tool time with Jeffrey. He's going to talk about all things Bash. Follow along on your own computer if you want, because this is going to be useful for some of the stuff we're talking about later in the presentation.
Thanks for the foreshadowing.
I do want that. You're probably going to say that. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Keel.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Bash, or for those who want to say its full name, the Born Again shell. So a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, or maybe a few floors above us in a server room, computers didn't have fancy graphical user interfaces. They looked like this old Unix machine. However, yeah, it's not really shocking that computers used to not use desktops, especially for the people in the room, because I'm sure you've all worked in a terminal before, but you might not be able, you might not know about all of the hidden intricacies. And even while I was working on this PowerPoint with some people, I even learned some interesting things about Bash that I didn't know. So before we talk about Bash in particular, let's talk about a shell. So a shell is a program like any other, just like the Explorer.exe, Internet Explorer, if you really are insane, or like the X Window system in Linux. Has functionality built in that handles stuff like scripting and some basic variable setting, but most of the power of a shell comes from elsewhere. It comes from these little commands that are littered throughout your system that do one very specific thing very, very well. These commands, as they're called, can be used in shells with scripts in a language that the shell recognizes, but at the end of the day, they call a series of programs at the end. So perhaps you could programs you can call are said to have command line interfaces. Pardon that minor blunder. But anyways, let's talk about Bash, the crux of today's talk. So Bash is short for the GNU Born Again shell, capitalized as such. It was written as a successor to the standard run-of-the-mill SH shell, the Corn shell, and the C shell. It's POSIX compliant and backwards compatibility. The asterisk, the POSIX standard in this case is referring to the 9945.2 shell and tool standard as proposed by Stallman, and compliant mostly. There's a lot of shells that are said to be generally POSIX compliant, but they're either missing a few things or you have to enter a special POSIX compliant setting or both. For Bash, it is both, and you can launch it with --POSIX on launch. And it also works on literally any device, except for maybe a Java smart card. I've seen bash running on Windows through WSL and Cygwin. I've seen it on Mac. I've seen it on most every Unix distribution that exists. Seen it on Android and even iPhones, which are notoriously locked down. Someone ported bash to the iPhone. So let's talk about a lot of commands, and I have way too many. So you probably are familiar with the basics, like you can use quotation marks to encapsulate a string, that some special characters, even within a string, have to be escaped. Exclamation marks are annoying, at least in my shell of choice. You can also nest commands within other commands. In Bash, this is called like sub shells, and it actually does keep track of how deep you can get. You can run like echo and then $echo, and then your command, and it will still eventually work, albeit it will run in a non-interactive shell. You can also send output to a file either by overriding the original file with the greater than, or if you do a double greater than, then it'll append it to the end of that file. There are also many ways to get to your home folder. One of them is just by using the tilde in like a directory, and it'll just go to your home directory. So it is this command right here and this command right here are essentially equivalent on the machine. You can also pipe the output of one command to another. This is especially useful for tools like grep, where you use the input of another command to help dictate the output of like the final command. And then you can run two commands together. You might recall there's two ways to do this. You can use the semicolon or you can use the double and. The semicolon runs each one after the other without any regard of whether the previous failed. However, as we can see here, if we did add the the double and instead of using a semicolon, we will fail like the whole thread if the first or second command fails. It's conditional. Now, there's also the command ls-lahr, which will recursively list with symlinks every single folder from that point onward. And you can use cat to output the contents of a file. Similarly, the head and tail command will allow you to not just print the top and bottom of a file, but follow the bottom. So if you needed to see if update on append, you can do that. Perfect for logging. You can use the grep command as alluded to earlier, combined with this piping behavior to essentially search through output. So that command will pretty much try to recursively and very inefficiently search through every file on your computer until it finds stuff named secret, and then will only output that. Without that grep command, your terminal will probably have a very fun time scrolling. There's also the cut command, which similar to grep, you pipe it, takes the piped output of another command. So this will particularly take a CSV and then it will use the comma as a delimiter as noted by -d, and then take the third field. So if you had a CSV and wanted to get through it, you can combine this and even with the grep command to easily search through SVGs or CSVs. I guess you could search vectors. Now, some less serious things, but still are super useful. So this command ls--la pipe to sed, substituting every E with 3 globally case insensitive. So this command is ls but in leet speak. You know, super useful stuff. But more practically, you can use this if you need to do mass replacement operations on a file and then output that to something else. And then, as I mentioned, you can chain commands conditionally. But wait, there's more. So you can use just cd to go to your home directory. No argument, just cd will take you back home. If you want to go back, like this was a web browser and you want to go to the last page, you do cd space dash. That's the equivalent to the back button. If you need to check the manual, whether for a command you have installed on your computer or even in the C standard library, you can use the man command and it will pretty much pull up the docs for you. Another useful one is the alias command. While you could, like I do, kind of naively use functions in bash to have a similar effect, you can use the alias command to set one command equal to another. Good if you maybe make a typo often, or you switch between Windows and a Unix terminal, and you just like CLS better or clear better. So, and then strings, we showed this earlier in the RE demo, and we can search the strings that are in any binary or any file. In this case, we're taking the value of this bash variable. Now, bash will resolve this to wherever bash is stored. So this command on any machine, if running in bash, will tell you the strings that are used inside of bash. Don't know why you need that, but hey, it's there. You could also use a more native way to spawn a reverse shell, courtesy of Addison for telling me about this one. So you can run this command, and if you have somewhere listening for a netcat connection on port 8080, you can run this command and bam, you got a shell. And then you've got this ugly command down here, which is mainly meant to show that you can, using this slash, have multi-line commands that are executed like they were on one line. This in particular is taking the file etc shadow, which are where passwords are stored, and then chmoding it using sudo, which gives you super user privileges to essentially give you all the permissions. So, you know, take those passwords, crack it up with John or something. Why you would run that command? Good question. And then, of course, it will then essentially claim the entirety of the etc folder. And then our final line of commands. So on the top is the touch command. You can use touch to create a blank file if it doesn't exist, but it's also more commonly used to set the date, either as the current date without any arguments, or you can use -d to give it a date string, and that is now when the file was last opened. If you ever wanted a file to open in right before Y2K, you could do that. You can use VI, Vim, Nano, or really any similar file editor to, and then the file name to edit that file. mkdir will create a folder. This is a really long command, also by Addison, that will very badly delete a folder. This does work, as far as I'm aware. The main thing is rm-rf will delete a folder recursively and force it to do so. And all of this is it just finds it and deletes it. It's just long for long's sake. I did not put the rm-rf node preserve root / in the PowerPoint. That is kind of irresponsible. Don't do that at home unless you want to, in which case have a backup ready. Okay, now on to the last three generally useful commands in this presentation. Sudo "-l or even sudo single "l" is the ability to like check what you can do on that user with sudo. So this might be useful in like a hack the box situation. If you wanted to know who you were, you can type in "who am I" or ID --un. Both are equivalent. And then finally, uname -a gets you all nice, juicy information about the computer, except maybe some stuff like processors. Okay, so I just went over a ton of commands. All have their own uses. And if you want, I can I should actually just put a document with all those commands in after this meeting. But anyways, bash scripting. So you can write scripts using most shells, and bash is no exception. But not all shells are created equally. While most modern shells are designed with backwards compatibility with the classic sh shell, you might end up writing a shell in bash that might not work in kind of a similar but different shell. So this is the Z shell. So you might want to be careful if you are using a shell that you're using the right shell for your command. Bash in particular can do math, store variables, has loops, functions, and a bunch of other fun stuff. But I'm not going to be covering scripting in detail today because that is a whole rabbit hole that would probably take its own tool time. And you also have the bash rc file, which you can run on start, and anything that might be per session, such as variables, you can run in bash RC. And whenever you start a new bash session, you can essentially run commands automatically. Now, one more thing, environmental variables. So environmental variables are just fancy variables that are defined in an environment. These are often used by programmers to determine, like, put stuff like keys that might be like machine specific, or it could be used by programs like bash to store information about it. Super useful in scripts. For instance, if you wanted to know where you are, you can use the PWD. If you wanted to know what was the last directory you visited, you can use the whole old PWD variable. If you wanted to edit that little prompt that you have on a terminal that says like who you are and what folder you're in, that's controlled by the PS1 variable. If you want to know what files and folders that bash will take commands from, that is the path. And if you've installed a program, you're probably familiar with that, because usually you'd have to append a new directory to it if you added something compiled from source. And then some other things, $hostname for hostname, $bash for bash. If you're wondering, did I miss anything? And yeah, I did. There's a lot of environmental variables, a lot of minor quirks in bash, and there are a lot of cool commands that I have not had the experience with, nor the time to cover. So let's actually do some bash. So I'm going to share my screen. So let me just pop into WSL. Okay, can everyone see my window? Okay.
Very purple.
Ubuntu purple. Okay, so first I'm going to launch bash because I actually do use the Z shell. So now we are in bash. So if I wanted to just say hello, got to do a classic hello world. And I'm going to escape that exclamation mark. So, well, actually, because it is in a string, it will work. But if I didn't, that might be a Z shell thing, pardon that. So now that we got that, we can use clear to clear, and I'm going to make a new file. So let's just say give me a random string.
Hello world. Very random.
Very random. But anyways, I'm going to put this to a file name named another random string. I totally saw that coming, and I'll just save it as txt. So now I have the output of the echo hello world in a file called hello world.txt. And I can cat this, and then I can tail this. And the dash follow if I were to go into another screen here, and then hop into bash, and then I'm going to make sure it get the right file, and then I'm going to append the output of this ls to hello world.txt. Now, if I go back here, since I was following it using tail, we now have that new output there. Now I can close this. Another command, you got environmental variables. So these are accessed by using a $sign and then the name of the variable. So if I did bash, there's where bash is stored. If I wanted, there is where all my files are stored, and looking at that, that includes some Windows files as well, because this is WSL. So I actually wonder if there's anything sensitive there. No big deal. I'll edit it out. Okay, other variables, we can do PWD, that's a good one. And then we can also do multiple variables at once. So, and that is what's controlling the prompt. I could change that if I wanted to, using Expo. So this, I believe, would be PS1 equals, nope. And you can see it, because I'm stupid, it actually just broke my, it broke my prompt, but point is, it does change the prompt. So, ta-da. So we're going to be working with this from now But since this per session, if I actually opened up Bash again, it's fixed. You can use exit to exit the current session. And I think one more thing I'll cover is you really want to crack my password.
Come on now.
Okay, well, this. I'll cat Etsy shadow.
Pseudo bang bang. It's actually a great way to look at that.
And then I'm going to mingle it beyond recognition. You're welcome. So first I'm going to use cut, and I'm going to set the delimiter as the semicolon, and I'm going to do field 3 random number, and then I'm going to do grep, and actually this will return nothing, I bet. You will have passwords. Yeah. And also that did not return anything, but the order that you do this does. So it matters. So I'm gonna actually change the order a bit. And there, it actually took something out of my Etsy shadow. You happy?
Yes.
Yeah, just crack your password.
So yeah, now you can totally use that to crack a password, but more so, you got 5 characters. If you can crack my password from that, I'll give you a gold medal. But anyways, to show the difference between the top and the bottom command, the one first took the output of Etsy shadow, put it into pretty much memory, and then it delimited based on the semicolon, which I know there are a lot of in Etsy shadow. And then the third field created by essentially splitting the string into pretty much an array. And then I just grep for my username, since there was no, like the output of cut would have removed my username. So it prints out nothing. If I swapped the grep and cut, it took the line with my username and then printed a number that is in that file. So yeah, I don't think demo wise, I have much else to share. So I will be kind of passing it back over to the projector. Thank you.
Awesome. So before we get into the main event, I know that was kind of a lot of information. By show of hands, how many people are pretty familiar with Bash? Cool. So was this a lot of review, or did everyone like learn something?
We're asking.
Yeah. All right. Awesome.
Hey, like I figured most people here already knew Bash, but if I could teach someone a skill or two and teach myself a skill or two, I see that as an absolute win.
Yeah, but Bash scripting will save your life. You get into it and like real world like jobs and stuff, you can like write Bash scripts like to do things for you. It's awesome.
Yeah, or even just writing like a one-liner very quickly to like quickly like look through a file, like if you don't want to like launch like for logs especially.
Yeah, I have aliases that like let me SSH really quickly, so I don't have to type in like IP addresses or domains and the port number. Just have aliases that do all that for me. But it helps a lot.
Especially if anyone's had Zublansky as a professor for Intro to C or CS1, you are pretty familiar with running Bash scripts because that's what he does to grade your test cases. All right, so jumping into the Pico Ctf gym, we've got general skills with Kill, WebEx with Jeffrey, we've got crypto with Matt with Oreos. You brought Oreos?
No.
Oh, well. I'm going to walk us through a little bit of light reverse engineering. We got some forensics with Addison and some binary exploitation with Sachin. So Kill, go ahead and take it away.
Let's do it. So I'm gonna share my screen here. Can I have permission?
No.
Thought I signed in with my, I had my name. Could have sworn I signed in. Let me see.
Zoom is weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Oh, now I'm good.
So is your presentation something everyone else can follow along with?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to say something about that, or do you want me to?
No, go for it, man.
Oh,
It's,
yeah.
your stick.
So have you guys made an account on Pico Ctf? Anyone?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys have accounts. So you guys can follow along with this if you want. If you haven't made an account, do you want me to give you like 2 minutes to make an account real quick?
Yes.
Yes, all right. Yeah, this is like really good to like start getting into CTF stuff. We're probably gonna end up doing like the general skills thing is probably gonna be like pretty bash. So we're gonna see what we can do. By the way, for those of you who don't need to make an account, I was just doing like some OSINT like through a VPN on that website URL. I found like a phone number that they use and they use it for other domains. Yeah, so they're doing like a whole bunch of scamming stuff. So, and I think they got creds because they killed that domain when I told them they were. Yeah, what's up?
My friend made a Steam account before, it was one of those things we made that extra, you know, Facebook number and all that. He threw it in within 1 minute. You sign in from Moscow, your email has been successfully changed, your password has been successfully changed, all like within a span of a minute.
Yeah, so they probably have that set up with a bot too to just steal your account. Probably bash scripting to just take your account. Yeah,
maybe
so
that's a Python
I was
script.
gonna say probably.
probably Python script. It makes more sense because with the web browser. For those of you guys in Zoom, someone from the audience just said that someone made like an alternative Steam account and like threw their like creds just for funsies into one of these like scam websites, and within a minute, like their email was changed, their password was changed, and like the account was gone. So, yeah. Yeah, both funny and not funny, but yeah. Cool. So is anyone still like making an account, or are we good to we're good to go? Give me a thumbs up if we're good. All right, cool. All right, so let's get into it. So I made an account, but I actually haven't like solved anything yet. Oh, welcome to Pico Ctf. Here's a quick overview of some of our platform features. You can practice your skills, you can compete, and web shell. Okay, cool. So they have cool web shells. All right, so I'm gonna scroll down here to the general skills category. This is a category, right?
Yep.
General skills. Okay, cool. So again, I haven't done any of this. Okay, so we did do obedient in ops for just for fun. So we'll do that one because that's just a pretty easy one. Okay, so the description is this file has a flag in plain sight, AK in the clear. All right, so let's download the flag. Nice, cool. Okay, so we have this file. It's just called flag. Okay, does anyone want to take cracks at it, or do you want me to just kind of tell you what I do usually with this stuff? Cat flag, yeah. So that's what I usually do, just because we have no idea what's in this thing. So I'm going to go to my downloads directory here. All right, so ls what?
Like, increase the size of the text so that
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make this bigger. And I also need to cut that part out of my. 'Cause I don't know what I had in my downloads folder. Hopefully nothing bad. Just kidding. I had some ghost files in there. Okay. So we have flag in my down. Oh yeah, let me make this bigger for you guys. Woo.
Nice.
Cool. All right, cool. Can everybody see that in the back? Yeah? Yeah, okay, cool. I'm getting thumbs up. All right, cool. So we have flag. Let's cat flag, see what happens. And oh my God, it's so easy. Okay, cool. So that's probably the flag right there. Yeah, cool. Submit flag. Nice, we earned 5 points. All right, guys, let's keep going. That was pretty quick, so I'll probably get to do a couple of these. This is good, right? I'm just gonna, yeah, all right, let's do it. Python scripts are invoked kind of like programs in the terminal. Can you run this Python script using this password to get the flag? And then we don't need flag anymore, so we're just gonna get rid of it. Okay, so we have this Python script with this password to get this flag. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is let's just cat this like Python file to see what it is. Okay, so it looks like base 64 stuff. All right, but it's like a Python program. Okay, so let's just run the Python program to see what happens. And wait, what? END?
You might have the commodity.
Oh, Python, hold on. Python endy.py. Okay, so usage tac E and then a file. Okay, so I'm just gonna guess that the E is encode and D is decode. So can we just decode password.t? No, we decode flag. Enter the password. Oh, okay, cool. So CD downloads, cat password.t. Okay, cool. So this is probably the password. And we probably just enter that in there. And oh, that's so fun. All right, so that was easy. Am I going too fast? Are you guys following along? Okay. You guys good? I'm going a little too fast. Just a little bit. Okay. Did you get that? Did you get that flag?
I think that's a question.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do we have questions? Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, it stands for concatenate. It just outputs whatever file.
Yeah, it'll basically take whatever file and convert it to whatever is printable text and shoot that to the screen.
Yeah. Other question, Bruce?
Yeah. There are no stupid questions. What platform are you on? The question was like, what kind of software do you need to be able to do this stuff? What platform? You're in a Windows 10 computer? Okay, cool. So do you have like a bash shell? Like, do you have like Windows subsystem for Linux? You have nothing. Cool. So
PowerShell.
yeah, we do have like a private cloud that you can use. Do you want me to push that? Okay. Well, you can talk to our treasurer after. Yeah, what's up?
If you hit the Windows key and type
Give me 1 second real quick.
PowerShell.
Sorry. No, shouldn't.
It probably pulls up PowerShell and then PowerShell ISE. You just want regular PowerShell, that would be probably fine.
Do you want to go? Do you want to just go?
Yeah.
Help her? All right. Yeah, we got a question over here. What's going on? Yeah. Oh. Oh, there, that's a good. Hey, Daniel. They have a web shell on Pico's site that you can log in as. That's awesome. Thank you for that. That's great. Can you like, is this like make it a pop out? Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, you have to log into it. So yeah, so if you don't have a shell, I guess Pico Ctf, can someone monitor chat by the way? Yeah. Okay, thanks. Okay, cool. Are you, yeah, you have a question? Oh, you're just waving? You're waving to someone you know up here or? What's up? All right, we had a wave from the audience. Okay. All right. Yeah, he and I went to high school together. Oh, there you go. Okay, cool. All right, so wave of flag. Can I keep going?
Sure, man.
Cool. All right, well, wave of flag. Can you help invoke flag? Well, actually, let's do this. Let's remove everything. Yes. Okay, cool. So clean downloads directory. Can you invoke? Do you guys know that RM? Did you cover RM? Did you cover RM?
He did, but
Okay.
kind of did.
Okay, so if you guys are in a directory, you can rm tech r. Tech r means recursive. You can rm tech r star, which will remove everything. So like it's a kind of a dangerous command. So just like be careful with it. People can kind of like corrupt their entire systems from misusing it, and it
Yeah,
happens.
if you accidentally add a slash, find my computer.
Yeah, if you do this, my Mac will actually probably.
Don't try.
All right, so
No.
my Mac will probably just tell me I can't do it because like Macs have protection. But if you're on like another computer, you can kind of. Okay, can you help invoke flags for a tool or binary? This program has extraordinarily helpful information. All right, we have. Can I just cat it? Can we just cat? Whoa. Okay, so that's really long. Okay, so we see like there are like unprintable characters too. Oh, actually no, they're all printable characters. Okay. Let's do this. I haven't solved these, so can we just pipe Pico?
No, you would have to.
No, hold on.
You would have to grep for it.
Oh yeah, grep Pico, my bad. Nope, didn't work. Okay, strings, warm, pipe, grep Pico. Oh, help, I actually don't know much, but I do have this flag here. Cool, so we did cover grep.
We covered strings in our last week's challenge too.
Yeah, so strings is really useful. So strings will grab all printable characters. And yeah, you can like set a length, right? So strings actually, so this is fun. So strings actually by default will grab anything that's 4 characters or longer. If you want like things that are shorter, you can do like tech n and then like, let's say like 3, and then it will grab like things that are like might be a little shorter that it wouldn't grab earlier. Tech N basically sets like a minimum length, right? But by default, it won't do anything less than 4. So, okay, I had the flag here. Where'd it go? There it is. Cool, Pico Ctf, nice. We earned 10 points. I'm gonna keep going until you guys tell me to stop. All right, maybe do 2 more. One more.
We want to do 2 more or 1? 2?
2 more.
Do 2?
2 more. Okay. All right. Cool. Description. There is a nice program that you can talk to by using this command in a shell, but it doesn't speak English. Okay. Just prints out numbers. Okay. Well, what happens if can I send it stuff? No. All right. So let's do this. I bet you I can just convert that to, maybe that's like ASCII code. Wait, can I convert ASCII to text? CyberChef? All right, CyberChef. This is a good plug. Okay, CyberChef. Yeah, it's been yeah. Okay, so we want to convert. What?
Yeah, you can type it and then kind of mess with it there. Just type in ASCII.
Just type in ASCII?
Type in ASCII into CyberChef, yeah. And then it's decode and encode text, I'm pretty sure.
The code?
Yeah, just drag it into the recipe.
Oh, so this is CyberChef. Have we talked about CyberChef before?
I think in previous years, not this year.
No, that didn't work.
UTF-8. You just scroll through and choose ASCII. US ASCII 7-bit.
Bake?
No, it should be automatic.
No, all right, I'm not gonna do CyberChef. All right, I need to convert ASCII to text. Converter. Why am I using Bing?
That is a good question.
It's just Microsoft's.
That sounds like something you should ask your brother.
Okay, so ASCII to text. Okay, so it was ASCII, right? So there's a flag there. I just kind of looked up ASCII to text because I just assumed that it was ASCII. Good, cool. Oh, that was a flag. Okay, cool. All right, we'll do one more. Static ain't always noise. Description. Can you look at the data? Okay, so RM star. RM tech R star. Yes. Okay. Okay, so can you look at the data in this binary static? Okay, this bash script might help. All right. Do we have to read bash? Whoa. I'm gonna do this. Wait, oh, what? Wait, a flag? Okay, cool. Okay, so you see, this is weird. Ideas? We want ideas from the audience? Because I could probably just like figure this out real quick. Maybe look at the bash file. Let's run the bash. Oh, usage, this, and then a program file. Okay, so can we just LT bash L, yeah, and then static. Disassembly successful, available at static dot. Whoa, what's this?
That's strings.
Okay, cool. So let's cat that and let's pipe prep Pico. Nice. There's the flag right there. Cool. Nice. So that's just like a little bit of bash. Did I go a little too fast there in that last one?
Jake, show them the bash file. and see how it works.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a good idea. So let's go into the bash file. Echo disassembly of the first. Okay, so $1, remember we were talking about variables in bash, right? So if you run like a bash script, right? And if you just put like a $1, a $2, that would be the number of parameters that you send the bash function. And if you like program at all, like usually you like call a function with parentheses and the parameters in that. In bash, you really just type in the command and then the parameters. There are no parentheses, no commas, no anything. You just send in this function, this parameter, which is why we have strings, tac n, and then a file name, and then there's no like parentheses or commas or anything like that. So it takes an object. Do you want to go through this? I don't really want to go through this.
So Has anyone looked at assembly code before? So yeah, so when you compile a program, it goes through a lot of steps converted to different languages. So what object dump does, it gets the binary file, converts it to an assembly version, and so it has your .text, .data, LSS, whatever, .global. And that's what it's doing, is printing that, like grabbing that, and specifically grabbing .text, using the $1, which is the first parameter, piping that to LT whatever .txt.
Yeah, $1 too, right? So I send it static, so it's gonna send it to static.lts.
Yeah, and then all we did after that is just printing a bunch of things, and then after that you can just cat it and grep for Pico, and you're done. Yeah, so it's just converting the object file to assembly, and just putting that to a text file so you can read it.
And we see some echoes. You see usage is this, and then program files. So if you we saw that usage thing out there. There's else, and there's a NDiff right there. So. All right, cool. So that's a little bit of just like kind of like the general topics of Pico Ctf. Again, a lot of it's just like bash and general knowledge. Yeah, so that's great. Cool.
Thank you, Gil.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen. And yes, I am doing it right on machine. So today I'm gonna be talking about two specific web challenges in Pico Ctf. So get ahead and cookies. So I do not want to log into Pico Ctf, so I just have the links here. So this is one called get ahead. So in CTF, sometimes the name is a hint. That is useful information, but with that out of the way, let's kind of explore what we have to look at. So we can open up our network debugger. This will allow us to see what's called.
Can everyone see this? Is there any way we can bring the
I
text a little larger?
can. Is this better? Yeah, so looking at the app on the left, we have a choose red and a choose blue. So we noticed that something's happening, it's reloading the page, but it doesn't seem like much is changing outside of that question mark. So I'm gonna see if I can look at the request. If I do choose red and get the headers, I can see the request method for red seems to be get. So if I now repeat this with blue, maybe, okay, this is post. So what this means is that a get request is essentially asking the server, hey, can I get this information? While a post typically is, hey, I have some information included in a body. Can I send that? Now, that asks the question, is there a body? It doesn't seem there is. So seeing that this is all the web application's doing, and I don't think there's like a secret like field we can change. I'm wondering if changing the request method itself might be a solution. So I know in Firefox you can right click and actually like edit request. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna pop open Firefox. Everyone can see my screen, yeah. So, okay. So this is Firefox. I don't want it to be my default browser. And then I can pull up the same link, zoom in a bit, and then open up my dev tools to the right-hand side. Now, different browsers have different dev tools. Firefox's I find is really good for network debugging. So I'm gonna rerun the request, and now I got my get.php that is right here. So I now right-click this, I can use the edit and resend feature in Firefox to essentially recreate the request as this was something like Burp Suite, which is super handy. So I'm gonna see maybe if I change this to flag, if I get anything, and it doesn't seem like it. If I go to response, it doesn't have a background. That's interesting. So I think the hypothesis that the request type is affecting the background might hold some merit. Now, the original challenge also said something about, if I recall, index, no, it said head. So maybe we can try head. If you're not familiar, the head request type in like HTML jargon or just HTTP, pardon, it essentially will pre-get the headers and like the response length, but won't actually send anything back to your browser. So it's a different request type that might be able to yield something. So I'm going to edit and resend this as head, and then see the headers and see if I get anything back. If I go here, looks like we got ourselves a flag in the response headers. So we can now copy this and we have a flag. So the next challenge I want to talk about is cookies. So this is similar to some of the NCL challenges in that cookies are really important. Not just are they good for interactivity on a web page, but a lot of times they store data. Given a challenge named cookies, I'm actually going to pop this in Firefox because it has a good cookie browser. I don't want you to be my default browser. I love you, Firefox, but not today. If I go into storage, we can see like all of our different storages. We have cache, we have cookies, IndexedDB, local storage, and session storage. But seems like cookies the only one that is interesting. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this and then actually play around with the web app a bit. So let's type in snickerdoodle. And then I love snickerdoodle cookies. If I refresh, seems to be persistent. So yeah, seems like the name cookie was changed a bit. Now, what if I do a different cookie, like a kiss cookie? It is a valid cookie. And it has a value of 9. Now, what if I did another cookie? They don't like Oreos. But looking at this, we can see that the value reset to the initial -1. So something's definitely going on with cookies, I think to myself. Now, what if I changed the cookies? So I'm going to change this to random number between 1 and 32.
32.
That's not 32.
31.
21. It actually ends at 28. That's why. See, I love crinkle cookies. And if I actually did listen to Daniel and did 31 and refresh, it's too many cookies. So I'm going to think like maybe it talks about something like a magic cookie. So let's go back here. It says like a special cookie. So maybe if we can look at like something we can do. So earlier I wrote this giant script. So this is a lot of code. I'm going to break it down a little by little. So first we start on the very top. This whole thing is just a function called check cookie. It's a function that will send a web request to a remote URL, which is our CTF link. And then it will just for tracking, put the attempt in a get. It has credentials to include, so we'll use the cookies of the parent session. But to do that, right before the fetch, we set the cookie. So then the rest of this is essentially just send a web request and then say we want the text. And this is called a promise. It's saying, I promise you, once we get the request, I'll run you this code. And then there's another promise here, which is saying, okay, once we process this, then we'll run this code. And then this whole thing just checks if the web page has the flag on it. And then on top of this, we have the actual like for loop that we're going to try every single potential value of cookie to see if we can find a flag. This code is horrible for numerous reasons, but the general is we're setting the cookie in the web browser, we're requesting a web page, getting the HTML text of that web page, and then if it contains a flag, we alert. Otherwise, we wait for a long time, and by a long time, I mean whenever that while loop finishes. Do not ever do that. That is horrible code, but it's a good kind of horrible in this very one specific circumstance. So I'm going to run this code by just plopping it into the web inspector, which you can run any JavaScript code in. Okay, but first it wants to make sure we're not going to be doing what's called a self-XSS. That's a fancy term of putting code in that's bad. So I want to do allow pasting, and we're clear. Now I can paste. And we loaded our check cookie function into memory. And then I want to do the same thing for this for loop right here. And then this will immediately run the for loop and then start trying every single potential cookie until we find something. Yes, it is brute forcing by sending 32 web requests until it finds something. And in 2 seconds, we have the flag. So to see in a bit more detail, so here we do have the flag. It won't let me zoom in, but now that we have that, I'm gonna kind of cheat a bit. I know that I believe it's cookie number 18 is the one that actually passed. And I'm going to go to storage. And then if we actually refresh, it will get the 30-second cookie, which doesn't exist. But if we do, I believe it's 18, refresh, and then this is what appears on the page. So our code is essentially seeing, do we have a string that contains Pico Ctf open bracket? And then if it does, then it will do the substring of this and then give us the output. So that is all for me in WebEx. I'm now going to pass it on to whoever shall do the cryptos.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any questions before I let go though? Did I go a bit too fast?
What is JavaScript?
Okay.
What is it though?
But what is it? But what is cryptography?
Yeah. So I'm doing cryptography, and I kind of found this particular challenge last night at midnight when I was solving it. I was like, this is fun. It's definitely not the standard cryptography I usually do. So it's cryptography with images. Does anyone have any ideas what that might entail? StegHide. So one person guessed StegHide. Anyone else? Sorry that? Someone said deboising, which is basically modifying images with Photoshop or some other image editors. What do you, Jake?
Base 64 text at the beginning and end of the photo.
And there's also base 64 text at the beginning and end of the file. Good guesses, but all wrong. So I'm going to share my screen. And this is why I chose it, because I've never seen this before. So I thought it was really cool. So we go to this Pico Ctf. And so it has, like, you can go to here, and it goes to cryptography, and I'm on the first page. If you go to the bottom right, it says pixelated. And so I already downloaded these 2 images. And if you were to open them up, they seem like really bad images to look at. Are they both open? Oh, that's what I'm on. So they're like terrible images, and I can try zooming in. It looks like absolute garbage. And you'd think right, because it is. Oh, that's not what I want. So the type of cryptography you're using is called visual cryptography. And I've never heard of this. So this nice Wikipedia page kind of told me all about it. So it's basically you have an image and you basically pull it apart and have 2 separate images. And if you overlay them, like this graphic will do, it kind of gives you something, which is I thought was really cool. And they kind of go through all the math and all the boring stuff that will probably bore you to death. So you would think, how would you solve this? Like, it's kind of hard to interlay 2 images using like online tools, because that's just extracting the raw image itself. So one thing you might not know about is called Pillow. It's a image Python module, which allows you to modify, create images, and do whatever you want to them. I'm using the image module, and so this is like a lot of documentation on it, a lot of fun stuff that I won't go into too much detail, but I did come up with a little program that I will explain in great detail because it took me like an hour to write this. So basically this part will allows me to open the images like you normally do with file IO, except using image. And this fancy little thing allows me to grab the dimensions of said image. So I said image 1, give me this dimensions, right? And you can do that in Python where you're able to extract multiple values, or you can make a tuple, other fun stuff. You're also able to grab the data of the image, i.e. the image, the pixel data. So like RGB values, RGBA, if you have apertures and so forth. So I'm basically grabbing that, making it into a list because lists are easy to manipulate and do stuff with. And then down here, I ended up making a new image that will store my result, which is how I'm going to see if I did stuff right or wrong. And then this fancy block of text. So this took me a while to figure out. This is the hardest part. Initially, I did some adding, some division, so a lot of fun stuff. You can't multiply it because any idea why you can't multiply the two values together? No, I'm not using matrices. These are actually values. So the way this works is so get data grabs you a bunch of tuples. Does anyone not know what a tuple is in Python? So all right, so a tuple is an immutable object. It's basically pictorially represented as this, like A, B, C. It's like an array. You can't do anything with it, but you can index it, right? So I'm making a list of tuples. So it's basically a 2D array, right? So I'm basically grabbing the individual values of the tuple and modifying them. So is there any reason why it can't multiply, but you can add, and sometimes add, depends on values. Is there any reason why? Okay, so RGB is an 8-bit value, right? The max value is 255. You go over, you're gonna have some integer overflow, which is not what you want. So if you multiply 86 by 86, you're getting some huge number, which is well above 85. However, XOR kind of keeps it within that constraint of that byte, right? So the max value you can have is 255, and the lowest value you have is 0. Hello.
We were very echoey.
Okay.
Okay. Try that again.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh,
Can you hear us now?
yeah. All right. So where did I lose you? I don't remember what camera the mic died.
It's very true.
Someone's saying. I think they're in the middle. Okay. Oh, what just happened? You're good. All right. So I don't know where I lost you guys. So can someone fill me in?
Let's roll back to defining length.
So, yeah, so actually I kind of fixed this program earlier and had some oversight with my modifications. So variable, it says unnamed error length is not defined. That's because I forgot to fix this part. I had some dummy code that checked something. But anyways, this should work now, and that I have it done. Cool, it's done. No error means a good thing. And so when I go up here and have a result, it gives me the flag. Woo! There you go. This challenge is really cool to me because it wasn't like standard RSA or anything else, just like 80% of all these ones are. So it's something you rarely ever see, manipulating images. And this is a great thing if you want to learn to manipulate images in Python. So yep, thank you.
Are we good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna go over a little bit of reverse engineering, so please bear with me. There we go. All right, so reverse engineering. Sometimes a difficult subject. This one, pretty straightforward. So for 100 points, we've got vault or 1. This vault uses some complicated arrays. I hope you can make sense of it, Special Agent. The source code for vault is here. Vault store 1.java. Super cool. All right. So, do that. Great. What could go wrong? Got it. All right, so we're going to import some java.utils. We're going to do some object-oriented nonsense with language I hate. We got some comments here. Came up with a more secure way to check the password without putting the password itself. So it's good. I think this is going to be unhackable. I hope Dr. Evil agrees. Median number 8728. So what do we got going on here? We're going to instantiate a vault door. We're going to bring a scanner in. We're going to look for some stuff. We're going to enter a password. We're going to pass that to the scanner. Substring, length, user input, length -1. Cool. So we got some indexing. correction, check password input, access granted, else access denied. All right. What do we got going on here? Public ruling, check password, string password. Looks like we've got some awful nonsense here. Password on length is 32 characters long, so 0 to 31. Char at 0 is D, char at 29 is A. Okay, cool. Everyone kind of see where this is going? Yeah, we're making an array, we're putting a bunch of characters in there, and they're all mixed up. So how do we get the password out? Well, we could spend a whole bunch of time writing a really nice program to do that, or we could just do it pen and paper style, which is basically what I did. Because why would I ever need to do this algorithm ever again? So I'm going to come back here, going to go back to my slides. All right, so this is what we've got. In case you couldn't see it up there, hopefully this is a little bit better, a little bit brighter, some text highlight. I'll walk you through basically what it is. So what we end up with indexing from the order that they gave us is this nonsense, right? And it's indexed as zeros. I added the 0 for all single characters so that like spacing would be good. And then just basically reoriented them. So one by one, just kind of pulled characters out as it went along. And we got descramble the characters, some nonsense. So we're gonna go back here. The whole thing. All right. Well, that was my plan. I don't have the flag.
I can solve the problem. Give me a second.
Yes, so. Oh, the challenge correctly again. Yay. Does anyone want to do more reverse engineering? A challenge I haven't done yet. See how things can go horribly awkward, or do we want to move on to the next challenge? One more?
Or
Alright.
assemble three.
On arm assembly? All right, you know what here? We got
I'm assuming
a bunch of choices. Do we want something in the 70 to 90 point range, or do we want something in the 20 to 30 point range?
Page 4.
110?
Page 4. Do page 4.
Highs or lows?
Highs.
Highs? Highs? All right, let's do highs.
They want to see points. They want to get points.
All right,
So they can brag to their friends.
let's see here. We've got hurry up and wait. That sounds like fun. What could go wrong? Well, that's fun.
Actually, hurry. You type bash probably.
All right.
Oh, it's just bash. They don't have WSL?
No, I'm working on a different project.
Oh.
All right.
Go back to the Usda. And see what we got on.
I'm using online to compile it.
I want to look up. And nope. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Ooh. Look at that. That's pretty completely unreal. All right, so let's do some Ninja.
What's Debugger?
It's that super awesome tool that I gave you last time we were here. Wow. Lisa. I'm sure nothing will go wrong here. Yeah. So what? If you have something to say, like you're part of the crowd, you can chip in there.
Yeah, we don't think it's.
No.
Yeah.
Sure enough, like that.
Yeah.
So
Magic fights.
name it SBC host.elf, though it's all that. Do we want to eat a value or go back to code?
Nothing more than
What happens if you got? It would run fine. It's a Linux binary. It's not an exe. Oh, it doesn't Linux.
Yeah, I would definitely run it. The dash and have that.
Wait, he doesn't have it.
Char const char, bar, a, main. Hey, this is what y'all want. I'm giving people there for.
Does anyone have it?
And it's already done.
I don't know if you had permissions to do so. I just throw in the video.
You have that? Don't install it. Don't install it. Then we have to redo it.
Yeah.
You do have to redo it. Do I just use power? Do I use power?
Sure, man.
Just so you have Bash.
You have GED.
I don't want you to, like, if you want to run this in Bash, I don't want you to install WSL to do it.
You can't do that on that.
Huh?
You can do on that.
What?
WSL on that.
What? No.
It's bad. It's got Bash terminal.
Guys,
It's Mac.
Why are you talking about WSL on WSL?
Huh?
Are you saying so that?
Why would you want to run it?
So I don't have to.
Oh.
Should we just run it out? No. Can you run? Let me see.
I mean, it's fine. I can try it.
No, okay, let's see if Max can run out.
Oh,
Max
okay.
can't
He's
run out.
hacking Discord with his terms of service agreement extensions.
Not run Linux on it.
This one in terms of
So you can't just like run it in WSL. You can't. Max cannot run out if you put it up.
Then
Okay, yeah, because I was trying to see if it's Bash though. What happened to Manjaro? Manjaro is live.
My SB2 project has me essentially trying to automate the installation of a bunch of things. And for that,
Does anyone have any ideas on what to do when reverse engineering the ELF file for Linux binary?
I would do this would take a lot longer and start taking servers and try to figure out what to do, or look for imports that are in the team.
What's the name of the challenge?
Hurry up. Send secret.
Want me to like?
Subroutines are good. Probably like something in the reverse to function. And then click on the subroutine.
So like, can you cat it real quick? Can you just? Sure.
Yeah, I did that.
I'm just looking through all subroutines. And that seems like this.
Did you get the send secret in send secret ones in send secret two?
Yeah, I saw that. And they brought out part of the flag.
Yeah. All right, does anyone have an Ubuntu machine? Like legit, does anyone have a Linux machine or like a VM or something? You wanna-
Something hack UCF infra. Uh-huh.
I don't want to install it. Actually, I think I might have an Ubuntu machine. I don't know my username and password. I actually forgot my username and password.
If you're locked out.
I'm not locked out, but I just don't have my username and password.
I have a long password to type in every time now.
Like secrets. Like the customization of Linux.
No, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Just
It's loaded up on there.
This is how you twerk this.
but like
Maybe
who gets started with MC on next?
you get him.
Hey, can you click on it? Can you see the font?
See, I have dark mode now.
For those who don't know, there's a reverse engineering CTF going on, I think, still called Flare On. So if you want to practice RE,
This makes RE seem super fun and enjoyable.
disregard what he just said. If you're interested in learning how, I guess not really so much learning, but like trying it and just,
So this is like a really good experience of like what happens when you're at a CTF and you like aren't sure what to do. You just want to try like as many like possibilities as you can think of. So we're gonna try like everything you can think of real quick. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna do this in the background and we're gonna move on with some different content.
Oh, Addison.
It's just because I haven't.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I'm Sachin. I'm doing a binary exploitation here.
At first it's 100%.
All right, so yeah, I'm Sachin. I'm doing binary exploitation. And unlike them, I'm not doing a live demo. Simply because I do not trust myself to get it right live. You know why? Because it broke it. I broke it. Trying to get the screenshots of this. So all the screenshots I'm using here are from the original write-up. I did credit it here. So yeah, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get the decompiled program. You guys having fun? The important thing isn't necessarily that you can read all this right now. I'm just more putting it up there, just so you know, like this is a step we're taking. Now this is from Hydra, which is a reverse engineering tool designed originally by the NSA. So what we've done is we've got the decompiled code here. Now, what does all this mean? So the first thing to notice is that the usage of malloc and free means that this is both dynamically allocating memory and freeing it. In terms of the actual steps the program takes, the first thing we have is that we've allocated a buffer and wrote the flag into it because we kind of need it for a CTF. Next thing we've done is we've allocated 7 buffers, wrote a congratulations string to it, and then we appended the flag at the end. Going back, you'll see it. Yep. Okay. So you'll see that's what's going on here. Now the next thing we've done is we've allocated another buffer, copied a different string to it, and then we've also saved a pointer to that string. That happens right here. And then we've also saved a pointer to it. That'll come in later. The fourth thing that this program does is that it frees the 7th and the last buffers. Going back to the code again, that's what's happening here. The reason it's the 7th buffer is because this links here to the 7th buffer, and then we freed the pbuff last, which is the last thing that we've allocated. And then we've allowed the user to edit 1 byte relative to the first buffer. That's this code here.
Yeah.
All right, and then the last thing it does is it allocates a new buffer and prints contents. You don't necessarily need to understand the nitty-gritty of this. It's just kind of like an explanation of what this program does as a whole. But we do have to break it. So where do we start? Well, the simplest thing is always the easiest. So we might as well just start with trying 0 and see where we end up. And you'll see we get this string here. This is actually part of the pbuff last string that I mentioned was freed. So why are we getting that? Okay, so why did we end up with that? It comes down to how heat management is optimized. When you free a buffer, it'll go to a special cache that holds that original one. So that if the next time if you happen to be reusing the same memory size, it will just pull that one instead. Why create a new one when you already have one right there? Yeah, so what we did is when we put in 0, we ended up with that last buffer that we ended up freeing. So if we're getting strings that were supposedly already freed, and the flag goes free, then theoretically we should be able to put in an address that'll give us the free flag instead of the other one that's useless. So because this is, of course, breaking the heat, the first thing we should do is, next thing we should do is try, reading the heat, see, what we can find there. And we check this at actually 2 places. One before the buffers are freed, and then we check it after. So you'll see if we check it before the buffers are freed, nothing is located in this special cache for free buffers. But then after we do that, we end up with 2 buffers here. One of these is the useless string that we ended up getting when we put in 0, and the other one is the actual one we want. Why did it go that? Yeah, so the first one in this linked list, that is this one because it's upwards. This one is the useless string that we've got by default. So what we need to do is we need to find the other one, and we have the address of it here, 603.890. That's an hex, so no, that's not. That's not decimal number. So what we do is we search through the memory, and this is using GDP enhanced, which gives more options for debugging. So what we do next is that we search for this, we search for that memory, we search for this address. Also, something to note is that when we're searching it in reverse order. That's actually something also interesting about this, is that if you try to convert these from hexadecimal to ASCII, you'll actually end up with the ASCII characters in reverse order. So that's something to keep in mind here. That's why it's that's why we're searching it in this way instead of it being 60, 38, and 90. And then we find here from the heap. This is our address here. But if you remember at the very start, I said that we put this in offset from the original stack. So now I have to find that and figure out the offset. Next thing we do is we find the value of the first buffer from heap. If you run heap command, you'll see we have this Pico Ctf fake flag here. That's because we downloaded the binary that we're exploiting. We're not actually going to run it live until the very end. So you'll see we have a fake flag here that doesn't particularly matter. So if you'll notice right here, this is now the next part. This is the next string. This is a congratulations message. So what we need to do is we need to calculate the offset from this. And this address is 6034A0. So we calculate the offset here, and we end up with negative 5144. Next thing we have to do is, of course, we just actually have to do it live. Screw it, we're doing it live. And we use this command. If you, I'm not entirely sure why, but you can't do this. You can't just put in these inputs into the program itself. Like you can't just netcat into it and then like go through the prompts normally. You have to do it before you actually get a prompt. Not entirely sure why. But you'll see if we do that, we end up with the output flag. Is everyone able to follow that? Everyone able to follow? All right, any questions? All right, I think that's it.
All right. So I have a simple challenge. This Physics challenge with information, and all you're given is this picture of a cat. The first thing I did was look in the background to see none of this text or code really seems to mean anything. You can see, I assume this is when the cat says on the keyboard and match bunch of characters like cats do. So let's see, what are the chances of full screen here? Okay, I think the whole screen is shared, but I'm not sure. All right, so this here is the picture, and we're just going to assume it's shared because no one's up. So we can't see much in here. And on Linux, you can run the command line tool exit tools to get some metadata information about this image. But since I'm not there, we can use the site exit.tool. It's a pretty nice site you can use to get some extra tools. Bam. There you can see we got all kinds of tool numbers, file names, a bunch of stuff that's been in here. Something that looks a bit interesting is the license on this file looks a bit strange. This obviously is not a flag. And if you don't recognize this, we can do this. If we go to CyberChef, right? You can take it as an input. Now I recognize this as base 64. So if we do from base 64, we can get the flag right there. But if you don't know what that is and you recognize it, CyberChef also has this nice magic, which will load a bunch of guesses at what it might be. You can see all these different formulas, it might come out. And if they might be different, might all be the same. But yeah, that's it. Pretty simple, nothing too complicated. One on yours. Okay, so the mic, yeah, that's right. So yeah, rip the mic. If you want to help run the club and have experience with making mics not suck.
We can do it real quick. The thing that we couldn't do earlier, we figured it out. Can we do it real quick?
Sure. Go for it, why not?
Sorry, just before we get into the ops thing, yeah, let me just get the Zoom open. Can someone get ready to give me this?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so this is really funny. When I first tried to reverse engineer this, I downloaded Usda and I first tried to open the project. Wow. It my Mac basically blocked it and didn't let me reverse engineer anything because of Apple's new security stuff that they have to run. So that was really bad. All right, so I'm gonna show my screen here. Very cool. So I guess should I I don't want to. I'm gonna try this. If this is the case. All right, cool. So let's do this. Let's make a. Okay, you guys know what Usda is? Raise your hand if you don't know what Usda is. Usda is reverse engineering software that was developed by the NSA and then released publicly 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, which is both really cool because now we have this really powerful reverse engineering software that the NSA used, but it's also kind of oh my God, they probably have something better. So it's a little nerve-wracking because Usda is really, really good. I'll show you what it can do in this screen on there, right?
It is.
So I just made this Usda project. We're going to import that .exe file that we had, and I'm gonna have the system references open just in case Matt gives me a hard time. Okay, so I'm gonna name it something else, but we're gonna name it decompile. I don't know if that's actually decompiling. Okay, let's go for it. It has not been analyzed. Yeah, so we're gonna have to. I'm gonna make this. I'm gonna tell my Mac to analyze all of the files, everything that it can possibly analyze. And these work. Okay, some errors. I'm just gonna say okay and hope things go well. Okay, functions. All right, cool. So we have these imports, exports, functions, labels, classes, namespaces. We're gonna look at the functions, and we're just gonna see what's going on here.
An important reason why it is you don't rely on just one tool. Because Binary Ninja probably can't do the challenge, but not as quick and easy as user can.
Yeah, so it was actually very quick to decompile the whole thing. Usually, really intense challenges take a lot longer for you to decompile. So I'm just going to start looking at the functions here, and I'm not really seeing anything. I'm just seeing little quick things. This one looks kind of interesting. That one's big, but it looks like it's just calling it. This I see other calls to previous functions here, so this is more interesting to me. Let's look at the first one that we have here. Where does that go? Oh, that goes there. Okay, so that's probably nothing. That just brings us where before. So it's probably not anything. Let's look at the second one. Second one, oh, look at this. We have a whole bunch of calls to functions and stuff. Let's look at the first function that I called, and it says add a text to click. Okay, so this is information. Huh?
It said IO, not two.
Oh, IO. Oh, IO. It's IO, not two. It's probably small for you guys to see.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at the first address that's putting data in. We see the first piece of data that it's putting in is P. Let's see what we have to do. Yeah, yeah. Some people in the audience have figured out what's going on here. Yeah, so this is the flag here. But good news, we know that it begins with Pico Ctf, open bracket. So we're gonna start here. Should we do it? Yeah?
Do we want to go through this?
Probably gonna take 5-10 minutes. No, yeah, see, shaking head, no, because it's gonna take too long. Yeah, but that's how you do it. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, awesome, cool.
Good job solving it live.
You script it out.
Write a bash script to get the stuff.
So, once again, as you've mentioned before, operations is the place if you want to help run the club, you want to help design content, you want to be a part of what goes on behind the scenes, come check us out. We're pretty friendly. Call for info dev crew. You got anything important this week?
Infrastructure still exists. We have meetings on Tuesday at right before ops at 7. If you want to help make it exist more.
What's going on in the infra dev thing? I saw a lot of people teaching a lot of people that.
You might have a point there. We're able to since the infra project does cover such a vast amount of materials, both in security and just IT in general. So if you wanted to pick up, say, Docker or Kubernetes, eventually the infra is going to use it. If you're just interested in learning basic like front end or back end development in JavaScript, infra has a spot for you. If you know absolutely nothing, but you think it'll be cool to see private cloud on your resume, we can find something that might interest you. So yeah, we do cover probably a bit too much, but hey, better more than not.
In addition to that, the infra crew is moving forward with trying to push the project that they're creating into a research project for academic research. So if you plan to eventually go to extend your education to graduate or beyond, this may be the year in. Web dev crew, we got anything special cooking up this week, next week? No?
We're waiting for t-shirt designs to put them on the store.
Right. So,
Yeah.
design crew, that's me. We released information about the t-shirt, hoodie designs. If you're interested, please come talk to me. You can have a Discord if you can't catch me tonight. I will answer as many things as I possibly can.
Can't wait to see some of those designs submitted.
All right, if you're not on the mailing list, what's
Does
up?
our design have to win for it to be on the store because of print on demand? Or can we put a couple designs on the store?
Does not, and that's to be decided. We haven't ironed everything out yet.
We'll see what we get and then go from there.
If you're not on the mailing list, join the mailing list. If you haven't checked out the shop, please check out the shop. If you haven't joined the Discord, why not? We're also on Twitter. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Y'all have a great weekend.
The road's no longer ours. Have a good day.